Hello and welcome to ESAT. I am Ngidwale with the news in brief. A 5-day strike called in the Oromo region began today, paralyzing businesses and transportation in the entire region as major towns known for their bustling activities turn eerie quiet. Stone-throwing protesters in the Holeta, Gudar and Harmisa shattered the windows of buses that ignored the strikes. One bus was set ablaze in West Shawa, according to witnesses who spoke to ESAT. Reports reaching ESAT from Awadai, a commercial town in eastern Ethiopia, say buses that ignored the strike were attacked. Bus schedules to the region from all corners of the country were cancelled today. Gimbi, Holeta, Haromaya, Awadai, Dambidolo, Bale, Robe, Chiro, Shashamane, Ambo and Burayu are some of the towns that took part in the strikes. Towns in the Oromo region districts around the capital, Addis Ababa, have also joined the strike. According to witnesses, there has been an increase in the presence of security forces in all the major towns in the region in the last few days. Meanwhile, according to a blogger close to authorities in Addis Ababa, 2 people were killed in clashes in eastern Ethiopia, 15 kilometers from Awash, as a result of the ongoing border dispute between the Somali and Oromo pastoral communities. Angolans vote today in an election that will see President Jose Eduardo dos Santos quit after nearly 4 decades in power, but with his hand-picked successor widely expected to take over. The long-time leader has laid the groundwork for his designated successor in an oil-rich country where poverty, corruption, and human rights concerns are unlikely to dissipate anytime soon. Defense Minister Joao Lourenco is the ruling MPLA party's candidate to succeed Dos Santos, who is expected to remain party leader. Lourenco, whose association with 74-year-old Dos Santos dates to the war against Portuguese colonial rule, has pledged to fight graft if elected. According to a report by France 24, Lourenco would likely encounter the entrenched interests of an elite party dominated by the president's family, including daughter Isabel Dos Santos, who heads the state oil company Sonangol, although media reports have indicated that she could vacate the post. A website that monitors the activities of ISIS has reported that the militant group has claimed responsibility for the beheading of 9 Libyan soldiers and 2 civilians at a military checkpoint about 300 miles south of the capital Tripoli. AFP quoted a spokesman as saying that at least 11 people have been beheaded in an attack at a checkpoint controlled by Libyan military strongman Khalifa Haftar. He blamed the militant Islamic State group for the attack on the checkpoint. Meanwhile, UK Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson has said that Libya was Europe's frontline in its struggle against illegal migration and terrorism. According to a BBC report, Mr. Johnson, on a visit to the capital Tripoli, agreed with Libya's Prime Minister Fayez al-Sarraj that the EU need to do more to help tackle the migration crisis. He said different countries had conflicting agendas in response to the migration crisis. Mr. Johnson said Britain would help Libya to set up an electronic border in its southern desert. That ends the news. Thanks for watching.